All right. 3, 2, 1, and action. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fight Me Bro betting show. This week, we are breaking down the bets that we like the most for UFC 260, Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou Dose. Quite a slapper of a main event. Due to COVID, there's been some pullouts, so not quite as strong, but still, because of the main event. And
I would go so far as to say this is not. I'm not very excited about most of this card.
yeah, no, it's like my buddy is having some
The
people
main
over
event's
and
the
stuff.
anchor.
What's up?
The main event is the anchor.
Yeah, it's an
I mean,
anchor,
as
but
it is
it
an obvious statement is obvious, but
it
it's just like
wasn't an anchor card before. It wasn't like a Conor McGregor, like, oh, if Conor was off the card, then there's gonna be some gaps type of thing. Uh it
a
looked like
big
a pretty
gap.
full card,
There
a
would be a
big
big
gap,
gap.
Eddie Bravo. But now it's looking a little decimated, but still solid. Yeah, we got O'Malley on the card. We got who else? Fucking Tyron Woodley,
In
LeCue.
and
We
out of
got
love, in and out of love with you.
yeah,
The memes
in
get
and out of
dude,
the UFC, in and out of the UFC is what it should be. But
probably what it will be come Monday morning.
exactly. Well, it's the last weekend in March. Everyone knows it is March Madness. That goes for all sports, but mainly NCAA. I think we left you off yesterday, last week.
Last week we were down real bad, and we are just down a little less bad.
We gave you a little snippet into our gambling and some
Logic.
of our picks and how we did it. That exact strategy got us down about 15 units. I think our record was about 7-25 ish, somewhere in that area. It was not looking good for us. And then we hit a bailout parlay of bailout parlays that got us only down like a couple units each. So I'm counting that as hot, and because of that, I'm betting hot today. I have 7 picks, 7 bets in 5 fights.
Oh, you can count that as hot. That's more just overall financial situation doing better for me.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
hot,
mental
hot.
gymnastics. You're actually hot. This is
I'm
mental
actually
gymnastics.
hot.
Like
Swept the board last week. MMA. Had I just not even touched basketball last week, we'd be doing great. We'd be chilling.
mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we touched about 37 basketball games last week.
Yeah, for me, it's all about, I got the last 3 games right. It's all about momentum. I'm riding that momentum straight into UFC. So got to ride the hot hand here. And that's what I've convinced myself. So the first one, I'm going to bet on a guy that I've never seen fight before. So that's, keeping it with the NCAA.
Hey, I had 2 of those last week and got them both. So
yeah, exactly. And it's going to be I got to make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Abubakar. It's not what I want to say. Nurmagomedov versus Flash Gordon.
I think that is right. It's Abubakar.
Okay. Abubakar Nurmagomedov versus Flash Gordon. He's huge.
Flash
big time.
Gordon.
Jared Gordon. I think his nickname's Flash Gordon.
Is it really? I thought it was Gooden. I thought this was a different person than you're thinking of.
Am I thinking the wrong person? I think this fucking happened to me last time too.
I don't think it matters because you haven't seen the guy that you're betting on fight. But yeah, I think you're definitely thinking of Jared Gordon.
I was thinking of Jared Gordon. I just looked. It's Jared Gooden.
First of all, Jared Gordon is white. I think. This guy's black.
I said I was betting blind. You think I bet to see what the other guy looked like? I was barely figuring out Abubakar's name, but I'm betting on this fight. Doesn't matter the opponent. I'm betting on the fight because Abubakar Nurmagomedov. Is he Khabib's cousin?
I don't know, but he trained with his dad.
Okay.
I feel like that's how you get the Nurmagomedov last name. Maybe if you just train with Abdulmanap, they just are like Nurmagomedov now.
Yeah, Nurmagomedov. I think that honestly you might
be like knighting someone in England.
Yeah. But I think like that to me says fucking wrestling decision written all over it. So I'm taking the -240 favorite, bringing it down to +115 with by decision. I thought it was Jared.
That's
Gordon.
gutsy.
Doesn't really matter. I think he's just gonna go out there and fucking wrestle fuck this guy.
You don't think he's gonna like sub him or something though?
No.
He's a pretty heavy favorite. I've never seen him fight either. I thought about putting this one on my card. This was I don't want to say a last second write off because it never was on, but this was one that I went back and forth about for a while.
This is one of the ones where you see, you just look at all the betting lines and you see where they're trending. It's like the over 1.5 is -350. So to me, that's not someone that's going for submissions. And
Yeah,
then like
fair enough.
then there was like another one like fight goes to decision is like minus 250 as well. So it seems to me by doing some gambling analysis and punching the numbers, let me make sure of that yeah, that you lock in Abubakar Nurmagomedov and he's gonna knock Flash Gordon out, or whoever this guy is. Or no, he's not gonna knock him out. He's gonna beat him by decision. Fuck,
Okay.
bad start. Next I'm going Miranda Maverick over Jillian Robertson. I've come to find out Jillian Robertson really isn't that good at fighting. And Miranda Maverick, I remember you've been on her recently. Yeah, because like
No, I did for this fight because this got canceled due to COVID.
So you bet on her for this fight though.
And I bet on her on her last fight too.
And her last fight. Because I'm like, I remember you betting on her consistently. She's the one that's pretty good at wrestling, right?
She's just an athlete. She's still young as shit. I mean, I think she's in college.
Oh shit! Well, yeah, I remember her being a young star, like where
she's not like a freshman. She's in grad school or something, but she's like 24, so she's really young. But yeah,
Jillian Robertson is not that, but still tries to like fight like that and just to be like a bully and athletic and try to overpower you. And if that's going to be in a case where a girl that's just better at that and is better athlete, better at wrestling, I just think pretty easy right there at minus 160. So those are my first two. Nick, what do you got?
Okay, I forgot that my first pick is going to be it's a double pick, so you're going to probably have to do another 2 or 3 to keep this consistent. But first two bets are coming in the O'Malley Thomas Almeida fight. We are going to be taking O'Malley by TKO and then over 1.5 rounds, both for a unit apiece. If you're going to scale this one, probably best to scale it equal units for both. But I'm taking ones, just mostly because I am really suspect about O'Malley. I really don't know. Like, does his leg ever? He's had his leg. He's had like 3 separate fights. I'm pretty sure people have brought up like he had one on the regional scene where he got kicked in the calf, and his fight ended like amateurs, and then he's had the 2 in the UFC with Suck My Dick and Cheeto Vera. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. Like Thomas Almeida is reckless as all hell, and I there is a chance that he just kicks him in the calf and maybe he's dead. Maybe his leg just snaps in half. So that's why I am not going. If the last fight against Cheeto didn't happen, I'd feel more comfortable up in these both to like 3 unit range, but I just can't trust him. That said, Almeida's lost 4 of his last 5. He's been knocked out pretty bad by Garbrandt and Rob Font, who admittedly are significantly better boxers than Sean O'Malley, I would say. But I feel like Almeida gets chin checked in almost all of his fights. And he's just losing 4 to 5 is just not great. Hold that thought, everyone. We have a mechanic here. Hang on.
All right.
We'll be right back. Okay, I had to go let a handyman in. Got some things.
The intro to a porno is about to begin, guys. So we gotta wrap this thing up.
He looks crazily like Johnny Sins.
Has anyone told you look like Johnny Sins before?
Guy's really a 5-tool player, literally. Anyway, so we had where was I? Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font.
Garbrandt.
And the other thing is, that's where the O'Malley TKO line comes in, because me not trusting him cannot lay a 320. I can't bring myself to do it. That said, I could with Glass Chin Almeida, he might just like style up on him, kind of like he did Eddie Wineland, where it's like Eddie Wineland's like Almeida will be doing okay till he's not, type of a thing. That's where my TKO line comes in. O'Malley's been talking all week about how he'd be pissed if he got a guillotine, pissed if he submitted him. So that's where the TKO line comes in. And then the over comes in at just over 1.5. Seems like if O'Malley can't get running early, a -1. I don't know if I've ever seen a -140 over 1.5. And that is probably a blatant lie.
It's for sure a blatant lie. But maybe at 135, no.
That just seems like if O'Malley, like if he doesn't instantly go out there and nuke him immediately, that seems like relatively safe because like there's also a decent chance. I guess I'm
You're
just
playing with
imagining a
fire there
world
though,
in
because you're almost trying. You're NCAA middling here. We're still in NCAA mode. You're trying to get the
yeah.
middle here. Like you're trying to get the knockout, but just past the 1.5 mark.
Yeah, correct. So this is a very big middle. This one's pretty risky, but I just think that if he, because I guess the way that in Nick's head this is going is he's gonna chin check Almeida a couple times per usual, and then down the stretch, like Almeida's already rocked, and he just gets knocked the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
So and really, I guess the other thing is the over is basically a hedge against if O'Malley gets cooking early and then starts eating a bunch of leg kicks. And then it just turns into midway through the second, we see like, oh, he can't move.
Mm-hmm.
The over's going to come and buffer back
Yeah,
that knockout line.
exactly.
You know what
And
I
while
mean?
the knockout line is still alive, it's not like one is cut out without the other.
Yeah. So it's definitely an odd play, but that's what I'm sitting with for the first pick here.
Mm-hmm. All right, all right. Well, I don't hate it because I have one of those picks on my next pick, which is Sean O'Malley by TKO. Yeah, you look at the record, doesn't look great. Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font, like you said, are better boxers. But however, Cody Garbrandt doesn't just box; he fucking kicks, punches, he throws it all at you, and probably too as much as Cody Garbrandt. Maybe not with the straight like bulldoggedness about it, but is going for the K out. K out. I meant to say KO.
I was like, what?
I know, like he's going for the knockout as hard as Cody Garbrandt is. Like he really goes out there and looks for it. And this fight was like cherry picked for Sean O'Malley. Like Dana White, they're still looking for their contender series like breakout star.
Guy.
You know, yeah. And so I feel like there was one other guy that recently is like
Yeah,
really
Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland, yes. So like Kevin Holland, Sean O'Malley, like those are the guys that are like doing the thing. And they tested the waters with Chito Vera being like, okay, is he good enough to be like, all right, he's being good, like legit contenders yet? And it turns out answer still TBD. But Thomas Almeida is he's like Eddie Wineland to the T. It's like a guy that's respectable, has respectable wins back in 2015. Like, if you look at anything recently, nothing really too great, a lot of suspect. Yeah, he's fucking dangerous, but like Thomas Almeida was dangerous when he first came in and no one really kind of knew his game. And now everyone's like, oh, yeah, this is how you beat this guy. And if you like figure it out, you can like really hurt him. And it looks like his chin is suspect. He fought his last fight, I thought, like where he lost the decision. Like his chin was suspect, like a guy that's like, fuck, I don't want to get knocked out again. And Sean O'Malley's looking for that. So I'm taking plus.
The other thing that bodes well for the knockout line here is I forgot to mention this, but I believe it was Jack Slack who said it on his show. Thomas Almeida has not completed a single takedown attempt in the UFC.
Yeah, so that probably doesn't help. So yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't look well. Although I am nervous that like maybe it does get pulled into kind of dogfight. I pray it's not another leg issue because you brought up a good point with that. Like, what if is a thing that like with his style, it's just like he's susceptible to leg kicks and he has very at 135 very weak small legs. But I'm also you won't do it, but I will do it. I'm taking him at minus 320. He's just gonna fucking win. It's just gonna do it. It's just like Cheeto was like this is a bounce back win that they have for him, so that then they could set up another Cheeto fight or like a Cheeto level fight, or they might give him another. You know, they might scan the whole roster and see like, okay, Eddie Wineland, compute turns into fucking whatever his name is. I'm totally blanking on his name. Who is he fighting right now? Like, what's his name?
Thomas Almeida?
Thomas Almeida. Yeah. For some reason, Cheeto Vera was stuck in my head. But
Oh.
like it's like the same caliber fighter where it's like they're gonna find him another can, I think, and then give him back to like maybe a
Somebody
top
good.
8, top 10 guy. Because Thomas Almeida is not even close.
Yeah, no.
There's a huge drop off, you think, from Cheeto Vera to him. It's like
okay. There is a big gap.
Yeah, a huge gap. So yeah, you go, and then I have one more double pick, and then my lock.
Oh, okay. So mine, we're gonna go co-main for the next pick. Tyron Woodley, Vicente Luque. This is gonna be another one uniter on the over 2.5 rounds. Besides Tyron Woodley just being shot, I mean, I see a bunch of people like, I think the old Tyron might. Why? Well, I want to know what. And we've seen stranger things in fighting, but why? What makes you think the guy that was sitting in his corner in his last 3 fights, where his coaches are saying, "Dude, you got to do something, do literally anything, move, throw, do something," and he's like, I just can't do it, man." What makes you think that that guy is going to be back? Like,
As the older he gets, the more
yeah,
volume he's going to put out. It's like there's
yeah,
been a direct inverse with every. I bet some real status. I'm an MMA status or MMA gambling statistician, but we need a real statistician to go out there to be like, with every year of age added to Tyron Woodley, how less of strikes has he been thrown per match?
yeah.
Because
I
you
mean,
could literally just see the decline.
yeah, and so furthermore, you want to know some stats? Here are some great ones that would make it. So the over 2.5 rounds, which is basically, decision, is -160. Listen to this. Tyron Woodley has not had a fight end in under 2.5 rounds since he won the belt off of Robbie Lawler in 2006.
Holy
First round
shit.
knockout. Vincente Luque hasn't had a fight end in under 2.5 rounds since May of 2009 or 2000,
And this
2019.
isn't your lock?
Sorry. No, it's not.
Wow.
But But they have Tyron. We all know what he's going to do. He's going to just super glue his back to the fence. Like I'm trying to think. I feel like there was a Mario Party game at one point where like somebody was stuck. Like they were on the outside, and they had to like bounce things inside. I don't know. I feel like that might have been a thing. I could be misremembering Mario Party, but that's what it is. It's like he's one of those things that's like attached on a roller on the wall, and he just rolls. Like he can
Yeah.
only move with his back super
Circularly with the back, or like directly or a foot off the cage.
Yeah,
Although I do disagree. You say we're going to get the same Tyron. We're not going to get the same Tyron right away. What's going to happen is he's going to go out there round one, like shoot a double and get him against the cage and do what like Usman does for like 30 seconds, back up, and then immediately back up to the fence and then do that for the remaining 14 minutes of the fight. And then exactly what you said. I have a feeling
sure.
We're out there and everyone's gonna be like, "This is the Tyron we knew and loved," and then he's gonna be like, "Man, this is very tiring. Like I can't do this. Like that's why. Oh yeah, that's why I just sit back. Like I just got really used to just waiting to nuke someone with my right hand. Like
and
all the other shit. And so I
and
think
feel
he's
like
gonna try it and then totally just give up on it.
the other thing is I feel like a lot of times Luque he doesn't get into these crazy ass brawls until somebody starts brawling with him, which Tyron Woodley doesn't do because his back's always on the fence. So this is I have a feeling that we very well could see a super boring fight where it's just Luque using pawing jabs and leg kicks and just kind of slowly outpointing
and
Tyron
slightly
Woodley
slightly moving forward, and it's just like
yeah,
like maybe Tyron comes in with a quick tries a quick 1-2, but then Luque keeps moving forward, maybe gets him to the fence, lands a clean one, and then Tyron circles out, gets away, and then it's like, okay, reset, and then it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be boring, that's for sure. But I don't hate that pick at all. So my next one comes in the main event. All the touts, they're talking, and they're giving me every reason to believe that Stipe is going to beat Francis, because why wouldn't he? It basically is the same fighter. And I know Stipe has gotten older and his haircut looks 1000% more knockoutable.
yes,
That thing looks like
that's
it's
a
ready.
big save. Those are the kind of stats that the ESPN analysts aren't going to give you.
1000% increase year over year of his hair looking like it's ready to be bounced off the canvas. Like that shit is like Gustafson, and it's like like and that shit is ready. But like Stipe isn't that old, and I know he's far a little older. He's got some vision issues. I know, like,
how old is he? 36?
38, I think, but it's heavyweight. But ultimately, at heavyweight, that doesn't really matter at that much, as long as you can do the same stuff athletically. And he has the skill level to take down Francis. All signs are leading to you should take Stipe. But then you see a video of Francis grabbing children by the gi with one hand and launching them through walls, pretty much like Thanos. Literally, it gave off big Thanos vibes. If you have not seen the video, one of the funnier videos I've seen in quite a bit. You're just like, dude, this guy doesn't make any fucking sense. But then you see that Jarzino Rosenstrike where it's like he's just gonna come flailing at, maybe not quite that recklessly, because I think he just didn't respect Rosenstrike at all. But he's gonna wait for an opportunity to just light. Like, if he lands, I don't think Stipe has the chin anymore to fucking eat a punch from Francis. And I think Francis knows, like, I got 3 good punches, so like I gotta make those fucking
Yeah,
count.
it's glass cannon time in the main event. Like you've got 5 bullets, and after you throw the 5th one, the gun explodes in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. No point in using it, so might as well make the bullets count.
Well, but I'm saying like the gun explodes, like you die. Like
yeah,
it's like a grenade explosion. Like if you shoot that 5th bullet,
you shoot to kill. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you shoot to kill, you don't shoot to injure. But so I'm taking Francis. I'm taking him for 2 units over Stipe, -130. I can't believe, like, I thought I was going to take Stipe earlier this week, not because any of the reasonings change, any of mine. Like, I knew this was the game plan. It's going to basically be like, all right, can Francis knock out Stipe before Stipe is able to do exactly what he did last time? But I thought I was going to take Stipe because I was like, dude, Stipe is going to be like +250, and it's going to be so disrespectful. Like, it's going to be like, how the fuck is he this? And then I saw like lines were like even. I'm like, what? Like,
I'm surprised that Francis is even favored, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess I'm not surprised because everyone, like you said, is I mean, all the, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of the same sentiment of what has changed, which the answer is basically Stipe's absorbed more strikes, and then other than that, nothing. But I was surprised that Francis was favored for sure.
At first, okay, the way it went in a couple of progressions. It was like, I definitely think Stipe should have been favored, but then I thought if Francis was going to be favored, he was going to be favored like big.
Like ignorantly.
Yeah, like really. And I'm like, there's going to be such good value here. So like to see them that they were even close to even, I was like, oh, I guess it is kind of accurate because it's just like it's a coin flip on whether or not like one of the 2 routes happen, and it's going to be super clear. So I'm taking the coin flip. I'm going Francis because I just want to see the guy that's literally like, imagine how much more ridiculous where he's genuinely talking about saving Africa and saving the world, but he plays into the role so much where he's like, no, I want to go into this fucking African village and throw these kids around because they're going to look at me and be like, wow, I want to be fucking that one day. Like this fucking superhero. Like, it's awesome. But that being said, I saw a line on here that was too juicy to turn up because Matt was rubbing the crystal ball, the same crystal ball that got me that huge bailout parlay. And for some reason, I have a feeling that Stipe Miocic might rear naked choke
Francis. Oh my God.
I see the submission line at 1,800. And
that's enough to make it worth chasing around.
I'm taking a half a unit bet at Stipe at submission because the way I look at it is he spent a lot of time on the takedowns and he spent a lot of energy and he ate some big punches late. If it was me and I'm redoing this fight, I'm trying to do what DC did to what's it called? Derek Lewis. And it's like if Stipe's smart, that should be the thing he's going for. Francis tired, he's laying on bottom, transition to a back, transition to some kind of sub. I don't necessarily like nothing about Stipe game is making me think that he's going to do that, but I just have a weird feeling that it's like, dude, if you're in there with that monster and you're trying to get out of there, sub him. Like if you could take him down, fucking sub him. And so I think there may be the opportunities there. That's just crazy value. So like, what does $50 pay? That would pay like 900.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So you got to take that. It's March Madness. We're getting crazy here.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stipe has a fucking submission on his career, but I don't give a fuck.
I think he's got one.
If there's anyone else to get a second one, is to try it against fucking Francis because I would not want to stay in there any longer than I have to.
Yeah, just I guess how much of the Derek Lewis jiu-jitsu just doesn't work does Francis have in him? I guess is what we'll find out. Okay. Lock of the week time. 2-unit lock for me this week. You already had it on your card. It was my lock of the week the last time they were scheduled to fight, and it's going to be the lock of the week now. Miranda Maverick's going to beat Jillian Robertson because most of the reasons that you said, Jillian Robertson is not very good at fighting.
No, provenly.
We have been waiting, kind of. She's got a couple wins that on their own look good and then collectively don't look so good. Like she submitted our girl Veronica Macedo.
Mm-hmm.
She submitted Courtney Casey, and then she TKO'd Sarah Froda. But individually, it's okay. We can build off this. And collectively, none of those girls are really the strongest wrestlers.
No.
At all. Courtney Casey was getting taken down at will by Michelle Watterson, which is, I mean, not great.
Yeah.
Veronica Macedo is just tiny. She's just way too small to be fighting at 125. And I think at least.
She's the blue belt that's like destroying white belts. And it's just like, man. But then it's like as soon as they go against another blue belt, they can't get any of their game going.
And I don't want this to get twisted at all.
Not that they're at those levels.
I do not think
like.
Oh no, I'm saying I don't think that Miranda Maverick hits in the same zip code level of power as Macy Barber.
Yeah.
But the archetype of athletic, like athletic, I guess just athlete, just better athlete, where it's technique is there, but it is supplemented heavily by the level of athleticism. And look what Macy Barber just she was just throwing Jillian Robertson off of her, like the takedown attempts. She just whiz her and just fucking whip her around the cage. And I just think, and I'm not saying Miranda Maverick fought a bunch of D2 wrestler or D1, national wrestling champs or anything like that, but she has enough athleticism, knows how to use a whizzer enough, is big enough, is strong enough, is fast enough, is young enough to I think honestly just start whipping Jillian Robertson off of her, and then on the feet, it's pretty much anybody has an advantage over Jillian Robertson. So
to be honest, it really kind of brings you back to like the school ground gym class, your team captain, and it's like, all right, you got to pick boys and girls, and it's like, all right, it comes down like, let's see who's the most athletic. Like, okay, that girl's got height. Like it's like, okay, who's just the better? You take the best player at the position. And when
you're picking for softball or dodgeball, I mean, it's like I'm taking the softball pitcher.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, I'm taking. I just want to watch her.
I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking at the height, the weight, the raw athleticism. I'm looking at the attributes, and one of them's.
And Miranda Maverick could fight. She's like 15-2 or something.
Yeah, so I like that a lot. My lock of the week, you had it already. I'm taking Vicente Luque over Tyron Woodley.
I didn't have that.
Oh, you didn't have that. I think you just mentioned it. Tyron Woodley's it's in a 3-round fight. When was the last time he had a 3-round fight? Like his style he became just really hard to beat at 5 rounds because it's like, okay, who can crack this code in 5 rounds where he's just this fucking shell that has a cannon attached to it. And in 3 rounds, someone's gonna have to get to work. And like you said, like Vicente Luque is not necessarily the type of guy that's going to go out and like, I'm trying to think. He's not like a Nico Price, where Nico Price could go out there and make it fucking absolutely reckless. Like Luque's just kind of trot forward and kind of just like slowly be like, all right, I'm going to meet you there. We're going to meet, but I'm going to be the one coming forward. And I just don't necessarily think that he's going to put himself in a position where Tyron Woodley is going to be like, oh, I can counter and just like fucking destroy this guy. Like I think Tyron probably would destroy like a Nico Price because Nico Price is gonna come right in, he's gonna nuke him. And I think it's just it's Tyron Woodley. You just gotta bet with what you've seen. There is no what ifs with Tyron Woodley. Like I don't see anyone that could be like we're any sort of faith. Like if Tyron Woodley goes out there and puts on and like beats the shit out of Luque, then like, hey, I have no problem losing that bet because what has he shown? That's just an anomaly. You got to chalk that one up to fucking March Madness because what in the last 2 years have shown you that Tyron Woodley is capable of pushing any sort of pace. This takes you back like way below like or beyond like his last 3 losses. Because like even in the fucking Wonder Boy fights and even in the Damian Maia fights, like these were all boring fights where he kind of had to just fucking trotted like 5
The
rounds.
writing has been on the wall for a long time.
Yeah, it's been like years where he's done this. So now all of a sudden he's got to go to a 3-round fight and push the pace against a guy that like has the gas tank and has been in wars. Tyron Woodley has been in 0 wars like since.
Yeah, it's either been a big nothing burger or an absolute ass kicking.
Yeah. So it's like, and I don't know if Tyron Woodley is going to be able to like bring that type of ass kicking fight to Luque. So at 255, a little steep, kind of crazy, but then it's like you look at what we've seen, it's like
A
body
couple
work.
upsets could really undo your card this week.
Oh yeah, there is a ton of. I was looking though, I was like, dude, I couldn't find dogs. I could not.
I couldn't either. I couldn't really. I mean, dude, the only dog pick I have is the prop on O'Malley, but
And I'm not saying dogs aren't going to win. It's just more of a like a dude. I can't confidently with any say like this dog has any reason to win here that like I can see. So hopefully those dogs are just not in the fights that I picked.
Yeah, you got all the big ones.
Well, I that's why
Are any of the dogs on multiple units?
No. Well, I mean the Nurmagomedov I have decision, so that's at a plus 115. O'Malley by
no, I'm
TKO,
basically saying O'Malley and Luque.
O'Malley, Luque. I'm taking Luque for 2 units.
Oh,
I'm
so
taking
that one.
Stipe for 2 units, but it's not Stipe, Francis, but that's
but that's not. Yeah, that's not a big deal. I'm talking about these like -3s.
Yeah, no, I got O'Malley for 1 at -320 and Luque for at -255 for 2. So it's gonna, like I said, 7. Yeah, let's hope it's not a Loyola situation. We have everyone just coming through and just shitting on the fucking favorites. Let's
I hope not either.
Not that. But yeah, until next week, you can find us at Below the Belt MMA on Twitter. You can find me at Broliva and find Nick at _Guy in a Geek. Guy in a Geek? No, Guy in a Gee. What the fuck am I talking about? It's too early in the morning. But anyways,
brain's not working. You're having Biden brain this morning.
I know exactly. My brain is fucking applesauce right now. But
I've had 22 people send me the video of like his. Have you seen the latest one?
Not the latest.
There's one that he just starts talking and then like he just stops talking for a good 10 seconds. And he's like, well, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get something done. And I've had like 15 people send me that. It's political stuff aside, it's actually a pretty funny video. Like it could be like sketch comedy where it's like, where it's like
fucking with us.
Yeah, it's exactly what it seems like.
All right, guys. Well, up until next week, guys. Peace out, y'all.